get a gun. Tell the others to search the area. Make sure he's the only one that got out.
What's up, guys? Reaper's Douche here, giving a The Last of Us 2 review. I just want to say before this review, I'm going to do my best to not be so biased in this review due to all the critics and other reviewers that are just giving their opinions and, coming out that this game is apparently trash. This is probably without a doubt the most criticized Naughty Dog game to come out in a very long time. And what's crazy is this game is criticized for two reasons. The first reason was being a top-rated game back in 2013 with the first Last of Us, causing it to be hyped up for the initial release and with the trailers and delays that was coming out. And having arguably one of the worst stories ever to be created by Naughty Dog, developer Naughty Dog, according to other reviewers. What's shocking and sad to me is others are claiming this game sucks and is giving it very, very low critic reviews and very, very low scores. I'm here today to give a good, solid opinion and not be a dick rider to anyone. With that being said, here is The Last of Us Part 2, a White Guy review. The Last of Us 2 continues after the first one's cliffhanger 4 years later. Ellie is now an adult and living in Jackson, Wyoming, along with Tommy, Maria, Dina, Jesse, Joel, and a whole lot more. New organizations such as the Washington Liberation Front, otherwise known as WOLF, and the Seraphites, who are a cult. The two are at war with one another for control of Seattle. Abby is introduced early and is a new controllable character in the game. You control both Ellie and Abby in this game and in two separate halves. They are both unique characters to themselves and have their own pros and cons that we really would get to later in the gameplay section. Basically, Abby and some wolves go to Jackson because Abby got a lead of Tommy's whereabouts. They then encounter Joel and Tommy when they basically just fall in her lap. Saying who the two brothers are results in something tragic as the two sides know who each other are, like I stated. We've seen this shit before because, without spoiling much, the whole game is the two characters doing cat and mouse on one another while encountering infected and other enemies. The game shows a lot of flashbacks to fill up the gap holes between the 4 years, and also stuff that happened before The Last of Us for the first one. I think Abby and Ellie are two characters who are wrong in the story-based stuff-wise, in my opinion, and they are both assholes, and neither one deserves to live in a world like this. So, basically, it's something we've seen this shit before. The story is, well, that's whatever. This game is definitely a gorgeous game on PS4 Pro. I got everything at max settings, and the attention to detail and the visuals along with simple stuff like the weather is absolutely amazing. And I'm playing this game on a 4K Ultra TV, so with everything, yeah, the system does work really well. It definitely looks better than the previous Last of Us, that's without a doubt, and makes you appreciate the game just a tiny little bit more. You'll see yourself stopping to see simple stuff like the rain and the snow and trees just to admire how great it looks. Even water. There's a lot of water sequences in this game, and it looks great. Even limbs off enemies coming off. Like if you shoot an enemy's leg off, that looks great too. New infected has been added, but not a whole lot of new infected. Some of the new infected, or even some of the old infected that have been improved in this game, they become stronger even on the easiest difficulties. You'll see yourself just saving, lots of a lot of your explosives, Molotov cocktails as Ellie, just so you could take them out. And with that being said, I do recommend using like shotguns and heavy weapons that you do have just to take out the bigger infected. And use the weaker weapons to take out most of the little infected, or even the guards and stuff, the bad guys you fight. Those guys to be taken out pretty easily. The enemy wolves and scars are easy to take out, like I was stating, but it's a little bit more tougher, especially when they in their groups. The story shines though on its gruesome kills and weapons. Man, let me tell you, melee weapons were great, especially crafted ones. New melee weapons are also available and include unique kills with the new melee weapons. Weapon upgrades and character upgrades are just about the same too. You do have to pick up these manuals in the game to unlock a certain skill tree just to, upgrade them, which I guess is kind of unique if you think about it. The two characters are different in their own ways. Ellie is smaller but more faster than Abby, as Abby is more brute force and stronger. Abby plays very similar to how Joel played in the first Last of Us. Ellie is her original self, like the first Last of Us, but is a little bit more faster and definitely better with more weapons. I do need to note that Ellie has a switchblade that always kills clickers and stealth kills. However, Abby does not have anything like that, and you have to craft a shiv to kill a clicker. It will kill a clicker in silent, do it silently. Combat is straightforward. You'll see yourself sneaking around, finding numerous ways to take out enemies. Whether you want to do it silently or loud is completely up to you. Different angles and different styles to kill, which make the player, it makes it feel more, inventive. You get to go ahead and kill them any way you want. Shooting is about the same as the first Last of Us, and ammo is just as scarce as the first one too, especially playing as Ellie. AI is great and actually a challenge, and unlike other games, your AI teammates actually help you. Thank you Lord on that. I'm just glad to actually get some help. This game has a lot more puzzles than the first Last of Us, and more jumping and maneuvering around to get to certain areas, kind of like Uncharted. It is a long game as well, clocking in over 25 hours just to beat it on moderate difficulty. With all that being said, it makes you, want to take your time and beat this game at your own pace. Not a whole lot is what I hated, but definitely the story for me is mediocre. We've heard this sad tale plenty of times and seen it in previous games as well. It doesn't really focus on the infected at all. It's just like the infected is there and it's whatever. It's how the characters inhabited the world. They are more worried about taking control of a city or killing someone instead of another threat that's taken over the world. That's my opinion on that. Others can feel another way, but for me it's just mediocre at best. There are some frame rate issues that I'm sure will be fixed in the future with future updates, but gotta note that because this game was delayed. There is quite a few invisible walls that are annoying as fuck, because why are they there? If it looks like I could go in there, I should be able to go in there, right? Playing as Abby is annoying because, like I said, you encounter clickers and then not have a shiv, and now you gotta figure out another way to kill them, whether that's brute force or you waste some of your ammo. Unlike Ellie, she has a switchblade out all the time, so that's kind of unique for her. Lastly, the game has limited weapon customizations and no character customizations either. I see enemies with better guns and painted weapons, like spray painted guns, and all we do is have our same gun. Some guns get upgraded and they change colors, but I'd rather put my own color on there, like gold or red or something. Abby and Ellie don't really wear different outfits either. They kind of just take off the clothes that they're wearing throughout the game. In the ending sequence, they are wearing a different outfit, but it'd be better for us if if we could make our own outfits, or we could, every time in a new chapter, we could, go to an area in that, in our safe zone or something that allows us to go ahead and change what we're wearing. An open world game like this, I wouldn't say it's open world, but in a game like this, it would be a little bit better to give a better understanding of, what we could wear and not wear. And, I could think of a million things that we could be able to wear in a, open world game, or in reality in a survival game like this one. Look, to be honest, regardless of what others say, this game does have a lot of fun in it. It still has the same feeling as the last one and can make your heart race and give you slight anxiety as you're just trying to survive. For me, this game looks too great to pass up and is much fun, definitely if you have a PlayStation 4 Pro, to admire a lot of the views that are in the game. So with that being said, the final score, in my opinion, and trying my best to put all the facts together, for The Last of Us 2 is a solid 8 out of 10. -1 point for the story, and another point for some bugs and issues that does make the game a little bit more downside than it really is. Even though, in my opinion, other people are gonna say it's not that downsided, but in reality, there are some issues that this game does have, and it's hard to ignore it. This game was delayed, and something that we all forget is we waited for this game for 7 years for it to come out. So our expectations for a game like this one is a little bit more higher than a game like Call of Duty, or a game like Madden, or a game that comes out every year. If it took that long for Naughty Dog to make a game, then we should have the expectations, especially if they want us to pay full price. Not saying that we should get the game that we want because we're not the game developers, but we should be able to get some bang for our buck. There should be multiplayer when this game comes out. There should be more stuff when this game comes out. There should be customizations, more of them when this game comes out. There should be more levels. People are saying this game's short. You know what? I have to agree. Maybe we should go ahead and this game should have been 30 plus hours or even 35 plus hours. So that's that, honestly. Everything else is top of the line, and I recommend buying this game full price if you love survival games like this, and if you definitely love the Last of Us. That's a lot of words. If you are interested in it but don't want to play the story, then I recommend don't waste full price on it. Go ahead and wait for this game to drop. Drop the price, and I pick it up under $40. If you can find it, go ahead and do that. Maybe even rent it if you're an all-time gamer. And one thing I do want you guys to keep in mind is after completing this game, you do have an option to New Game Plus, which basically is a new game but with the same weapons and upgrades as the previous playthrough. The only issue that I personally had with that is I felt this game was not interesting enough based off playing it the first time for me to go ahead and go back and play it all over again. Now, the first Last of Us was not like that. I did start all the way over the first time I went ahead and beat it. This time, I don't feel that same feeling. I feel like it was just something that I played, and I went ahead and beat it, and then I was like, you know what, I gotta go ahead and let this one sit. Maybe I promise you, if there's a multiplayer coming out next time, or in the future, then that's probably when I'll go ahead and pick it up again. But for now, I do not feel like playing this game again. This is more of a one-time done game for me. Like Uncharted, the last Uncharted that came out, I beat it once and did not want to play it again. That's just because you've seen everything. You know what's gonna happen. There's not anything more. So that's all I have to say about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this review helped you. And you guys already know, I gotta go.